Books, reading, spice? That's BookTok, the place where you get different book recommendations, lighthearted jokes, and plenty of Barnes & Noble hauls. But that's not always the case.
Does anybody on this godforsaken app read a single book that isn't just straight up?
Now, I'm not a huge reader. I'm pretty sure the last book series that I've ever read is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but my lack of reading comprehension wasn't about to stop me from thinking that BookTok was where I was going to get the latest and greatest book recommendations for 2024. Instead, the people of BookTok want more than books to just get advice from. They want spice.
These are some of the spiciest books I have ever read.
They want to get down and dirty with pieces of paper. Corn, even, but not that kind of corn.
Nobody's gonna know.
There's werewolf books. A lot of werewolf books. Vampires. Zombies. There is nothing like a zombie eating away at your flesh to make you feel a certain type of way. Whew, is it getting on here? Is it just me? But it's not always about fantasy characters or creative plot points. The side of BookTok that I happen to land on, like a lot of other commentary channels that have also covered the same topic, took a turn for the worse. Like off a cliff worse. From a very, very tall mountain. Mom. Pick me up, I'm scared. But this is interesting and oddly unsanitary. Oh, wait, never mind. It's been cleaned before. Whew, I was getting a little worried with that one. If that didn't scare you yet, good. But if it did, consider this a warning to turn back now. I'm gonna go over clips that cover potentially triggering topics like sexual assault, so if that's too hard to watch, no big deal. But if you're ready, let's go in this together and hold hands because it's about to get real scary. BookTok is mostly known for its fanfiction type excerpts, similar to Wattpad, but this time in video format, where the most insane text appears front and center like a form of clickbait that unfortunately is very real. What happened to hello? How are you? How have you been? The people are fiending for the smut. Crazy for the, in their life, and I don't blame them either, okay? A little spice a day keeps the doctor away. Get on the floor, on your knees, now, hands behind your back. And it says, good girl. This is the core of BookTok. Some random guy in the background wearing a suit, probably part of the mafia as well, or maybe a 6'5" man in finance.
That's fine. 6'5", I'm looking for a man in finance.
With the most suggestive and potentially YouTube demonetizing words placed over it. So this is something that's done to get views, usually to push out the author in question's book. I mean, the people in the comments love it. They're raving over it. They want to read this book. So I think that's good marketing. There's a hashtag on this video that says dark romance, although it's not the only thing that's dark in BookTok. When he knows he's being too rough with her, but he needs her so bad he can't help himself. I love how I'm just doing different voices. We're gonna do that lady from Monsters, Inc.
Always watching. Now he's so our princess.
A little. She admits. Doing it for the plot, Maddy. Doing it for the plot. He kisses her forehead softly and then slides inside of her anyway.
I'll be gentle this time, promise.
Did we really need to know that it was inside in all caps? Maybe that's only if you're reading it with a dirty mind. For all we know, this fictional girl could have an actual slide in her pants. You don't know. Give slip and slide a whole new meaning. When her husband doesn't want to get her pregnant, so he sends his brothers to do it. Brothers? As in plural. Like I said earlier, BookTok is the type of community that attracts every type of person, which is great considering how welcoming it is, but it also means that other communities can merge into it as well. There seems to be an interesting love triangle between BookTok, BIKERTOK, and MaskTok.
Drop the location, I still got PTSD. Motherfuck the big three. Nigga, it's just big me, nigga.
BIKERTOK was once a community of people who ride motorcycles, obviously, sometimes making thirst traps, other times showing footage from their GoPro of funny moments with other drivers, and those are good. I like those. Those are my personal favorite. But somewhere along the way, the lines got blurred, and bikers started to cross over into uncharted territory. The BookTok meets BIKERTOK crossover has turned into bikers who also share their love of reading spicy books to what looks like attract a BookTok girl.
Where y'all at?
But it's like the newest version of Pick-me's, yet oddly wholesome.
Okay.
So instead of shamelessly reading smut in public, we've got bikers riding their Harley Davidsons and listening to dark romance audiobooks. Okay, this was not planned. This was not planned.
You sure about that?
For the most part, the BIKERTOK BookTok collaboration is pretty tame, until it isn't. I'm a little concerned / distracted by the strange potential weapon hanging from the top of the garage. Handcuffs, duct tape, murder weapon. I should also point out that the majority of people flooding BIKERTOK comment sections are women who have a thing for masked men, which is totally fine. But how do you even know who's hiding behind the mask in the first place? Like, just honest curiosity, no judgment, you can totally have your thing. And at least the mask-wearing bikers don't leave their BookTok girls guessing what their motives are. They make it pretty clear.
Messing with me, messing with me. I keep going back to the
Brother, ew! I used to think that motorcycles were cool, wanting one of my own as of 16 seconds ago. Now I'm regretting that thought. People are feral for the bike talkers. Oh my god. Treat me how you treat your bike. Say less. I'm just imagining like that squeaky boots SpongeBob sound effect. What did the motorcycle do to deserve this? Throughout my exploration of BookTok and BIKERTOK, taking a deep dive into subcultures and exploring what it really means to be a smutty book enjoyer, there was one book that I kept seeing over and over and over again that was starting to pique my interest, and it's called Haunting Adeline.
We got the book everybody's been talking about. Why don't we go inside and take a peek? What the?
So this book is about a woman is pursued by a man who's unaffected by her emotional manipulation while she finds herself inexplicably drawn to him despite her attempts to resist.
Y'all wasn't kidding. Look, y'all wasn't kidding when y'all called this shit a dark romance. Bitch, I don't even smoke and I think I need me a damn cigarette.
Based off of my research on this book, I had learned that it was previously banned on Amazon for these trigger warnings. The contents are very dark with triggering situations such as non-dub con between the main characters, graphic violence, human trafficking, stalking, child trafficking, child sacrifice, mentions of child death, and explicit sexual situations. Remember that trend of crushes stalking each other on TikTok, where people would just show up at their house and peek through their windows at night? Sometimes even sneak inside of their house? It's like that, but a level 10. I feel like we should read this. None of these conspiracies derive from anti-Semitism or QAnon, but from my own demented imagination. There are also particular kinks such as gunplay. I want to talk about that for a second. There is a scene in chapter 16 that everybody's talking about. They're calling it the gun scene. Apparently it's really crazy. Obviously, if you use your imagination, you can assume that the gun is going in places that it shouldn't be.
and dripping off onto my
I actually did go through it a little bit last night on my iPad because I downloaded the audiobook and I found a free version online. If you are expecting smut, you are going to be getting smut. That is all I'm going to say.
The only way I'll be sending you to heaven is with my cup.
Because I wanted to know more about BookTok's highly praised and recommended book, I decided to read Haunting Adeline for this video. Got my nifty little iPad right here. Let's start with chapter 10.
Sucking in a deep breath, I pick up the box. Before I can think about what I'm doing, I tip the lid off with my foot. Hands, severed hands, are in the box, just like I feared.
Why are we sending hands? Who is this? I don't know who Arches is. I feel like maybe we should look this up right now. Adeline brings a man home from the club. This makes the stalker mad, who then captures and kills Arch, sending Adeline Arch's hands as a gift and evidence of his possessive nature. No shit, Sherlock. We don't have to be a detective to see that. Chapter 16. I did not need to know that!
Keeping one finger hooked in my underwear, he points the gun in my face with the other. I recoil, pinching my eyes shut and letting loose a startled yell.
Relax. I just want you to suck on it.
Huh?
Saliva pooling to the tip and dripping off onto my
Oh god!
He circles my entrance with the tip of the gun, the metal slipping against my skin.
Wow, that's not even the whole scene. I just had to pick some parts that were somewhat okay to put on YouTube. Oh my god. Every single chapter is smut. Like, even flipping through all of the pages on this virtual book here, I can tell. I can read the paragraphs with my eyes. My own two eyes are seeing the words, and they're making me a little uncomfy. Chapter 34.
I do as he says, keeping my knees on the back seat bench while I fit my body in the small gap between the two seats, planting my hands on either side for balance.
How does it even work? You know what? Zaid needs a hobby. Zaid needs to let Adeline go. He needs just something to do with his time that is not tormenting this poor woman. Yeah, I think petition to have Zaid find a new job. Okay.
Fucking Nirvana.
He murmurs before suctioning my I cry out, pleasure consuming me whole. And he's right. The way Zaid eats is Nirvana.
I want to just shout out the people that did this audiobook, the like voice actors, because you know what? It takes a real cool person to do something like this, to read for an audiobook a smut audiobook. It really does.
As much as I hate to say this to you, I'm no stranger to a woman's...
I think that's going to be all for the video, because if I read any more, I'm going to be gouging my eyes out. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and stay cool.